Welcome to Shelby Podcast, a production of Shelby Systems Media. And now here's your host, Don Alsop.
On today's show, we'll be talking with Chris Benson, Support Manager for Shelby Systems. It's that time of year again, time for group promotions. Chris will be here to explain how to make the process easy this year. Plus, we'll tell you how to access a short video clip that will walk you through the entire promotions process step by step. Stay with us for everything you wanted to know about promotions, but were afraid to ask. Thanks for joining us for another Shelby Podcast, where we pledge to keep you up to date with what is going on at Shelby Systems.
Promotions is a busy time of year for everyone, so our hope is that this podcast and the video that goes along with it will help to make this process easier.
That's today's special guest, Chris Benson, Shelby's Support Department Manager. Chris began as a technician in the Support Department in 1995. He moved up to become a team leader and project manager and eventually took the lead in the department as Support Manager. Since taking over that responsibility, he has increased productivity and reduced hold time for customers. It's hard to imagine with triple-digit temps in many parts of the country that fall is just around the corner, but it will be here before you know it. And with autumn comes the beginning of the school year, and that means it's time for group promotions. Chris is here today to walk us through the process and to give us tips and tricks to help make promotions simple and accurate. We'll also tell you how you can watch a video that will walk you through a sample promotion that should be very helpful for beginner and expert alike. Welcome to a bonus edition of Shelby Podcast, just in time for yearly promotions. Here to help us today is Support Manager Chris Benson. Welcome to the show, Chris. Let's start at the very beginning and ask, for those who don't know, what exactly are promotions?
Well, when we talk about promotions, we're referring to the process of moving groups from one group to another. This can be done an entire group at a time in one swoop, or it can be done one individual at a time.
For someone who is going to be doing promotions this year for the very first time, what kind of prep work should they be doing in advance of the actual promotion?
Well, you want to go ahead and have your department heads provide you with the promotion detail. They should be able to tell you what group is promoting to what group, as well as make you aware of any exceptions, individuals that will need to be handled one at a time. My suggestion would be to provide the department heads with a blank promotion list as early as possible. The promotion list is sorted by class. It gives you the current class that individuals are in, as well as the new class. They can then use that promotion list, fill that out, and then give it back to you, and you can use that as your guide as you're actually working through the promotion process.
Can you give us a quick overview of the promotion process?
Our promotion tool is found within the membership module. From the home base under Utility and Promotions, you'll see the options there for clearing the promotion work file, promoting by a group or individual, printing the promotion work list, and then finally updating the promotions.
What methods are available for promoting?
There are two ways to work within the work file. You can promote entire groups at a time. For example, you might be promoting your first grade class to the second grade class, or you could be promoting by individual. Typically, promotions would involve a combination of both. Again, keep in mind you're still working in a work file.
What's the advantage of having a work file?
While you're working in the work file, individuals can be moved from one class to another. Work files can be cleared and started over again. Again, the permanent record is not touched.
And how should you finalize the promotions?
When the week comes to do promotions, you're simply updating the work file, which makes the changes to the attendee's current record, and it activates the old class and adds the new class. Before doing so, it's recommended that you make a backup of your database. Remember, you're about to update hundreds, perhaps thousands of records. If it doesn't turn out the way that you expected, it's real easy to go back and restore that backup. Once the backup is completed, you simply update promotions. Then you'll probably want to spend some time going back and spot checking records and running your rolls to make sure that everything is accurate.
Are there any tips or tricks of the trade that you can tell us about?
The key is to start as soon as possible. Remember, you've got the promotion list to validate information. Remember that backups are important in case you need to rebuild any information. And then lastly, remember that the support department is here if you have any questions.
And is there anything else you'd like to add before you go?
In closing, there is a video available from the Shelby Podcast webpage that will walk you through the promotion process.
Thanks, Chris, for joining us for this bonus edition of Shelby Podcast. Chris is doing an exemplary job as support manager for Shelby, and we appreciate him taking the time to help us during promotions. We'll talk to Chris again on another day and find out more about him personally and how he has improved support to make the experience a better one for you. If you would like to see a step-by-step video presentation of the entire promotion process, just visit our Shelby Podcast webpage, shelbyinc.com/podcast, and click on the See Promotions tutorial link. Don't miss our next program where we will interview Ron Chandler, the new Director of Customer Development for Shelby Systems. Before we go, here is our inspirational quote for the day from Philippians 3:14. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus.
You've been listening to Shelby Podcast with your host, Don Alsop. Shelby Podcast is produced by Shelby Systems Media and can be heard online at shelbyinc.com/podcast, or you can download the program, copy it to your iPod or MP3 player, and listen at your convenience. Make sure you click the RSS link so that you get each new show automatically. Shelby Podcast is now available on iTunes. We want to hear from you. Please send your comments, questions, or suggestions to shelbypodcast@shelbyinc.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for another Shelby Podcast.